million mansions to one of the wildest NBA scandals you'll ever hear about. This is the insane lifestyle of Terry Rozier. Hit the intro.
Rozier gonna have to put something up!
Even though he's built one of the flashiest reputations in the league, his lifestyle will definitely surprise you. Let's quickly start things off with his background. Terry William Rozier Jr. was born in Youngstown, Ohio on March 17, 1994. A city known for violence, poverty, and some of the toughest streets in America. His father, Terry Rozier Sr., was sent to prison when Terry was just 2 months old. He briefly returned in 2005, but after being linked to a robbery and kidnapping case, he was arrested again and sentenced to 13 more years behind bars. With his father gone and with his mother working nonstop, Terry was raised primarily by his grandmother, Amanda, the woman he credits for saving his life. Growing up in Youngstown wasn't easy. Basketball quickly became his way out. He was obsessed with the game, shoveling snow off driveways to practice, dribbling with gloves on, and studying Allen Iverson highlight tapes until he knew every move. He later moved to Shaker Heights, where he became one of the best guards in the state, averaging over 25 points per game as a senior. After a year at Hargrave Military Academy to improve his academics and discipline, Rozier committed to Louisville, and that's where everything started to change. Now let's briefly discuss his early career. As a freshman, he came off the bench in flash burst of elite athleticism, the kind of plays that made Rick Pitino call him one of the toughest guards he'd ever coached. By his sophomore year, the keys were his. After Louisville dismissed starting point guard Chris Jones late in the season, Rozier suddenly became the team's primary scorer, primary defender, and primary ball handler all at once. And he delivered, leading Louisville to the Elite Eight and cementing himself as one of the best two-way guards in college basketball. NBA scouts took notice. In the 2015 NBA draft, the Celtics selected Terry Rozier with the 16th overall pick, a move that many analysts called a reach. It didn't take long for him to prove them wrong. Now let's talk about the clips that turned him into a viral sensation. As a rookie in Boston, he barely played. But when he did touch the floor, the highlights went crazy online. His first viral clip? A steal and slam on Cameron Payne in crunch time.
It was a controversial ending as Rozier works Payne and punches it home.
But everything changed in the 2018 playoffs. Kyrie Irving went down. Boston needed someone to step up, and Rozier turned into a star. He torched the Bucks for 23 points in Game 1. Including a game-winning crossover that sent Eric Bledsoe sliding across the floor before Rozier drilled the three.
He goes by, a little crossover, step back, wide open, and it's good!
And the best part? Bledsoe had just told reporters, "I don't even know who that is."
Who? Terry Rozier.
I don't even know who that is.
So Rozier introduced himself the hard way. The clip went mega viral, and the Scary Terry nickname was born, complete with memes, t-shirts, and even licensed merch. That postseason turned him from a bench guard into a cult icon.
And listen to this crowd here, Kevin.
Yes.
Who is Bledsoe?
Charlotte liked what they saw, so they offered him 3 years and $57 million. But his biggest moment came in 2021. A spinning, fading, off-balance game winner over the Warriors. One of the craziest shots of the entire NBA season. A couple of months later, Rozier hit a new career high, 43 points. And Charlotte rewarded him with a 4-year, $97 million extension. But in 2024, everything changed. Rozier was traded to the Miami Heat. And in a game against the Celtics, he landed awkwardly on a drive and suffered a knee injury that sent him to the locker room.
Is there anything obvious there to you guys?
Then some crazy stuff happened going forward, but we'll get into that later. Now that we know how much he makes, how does he spend his cash? Let's start with his garage. One of the first cars he was seen with was a white Audi S5, but things got louder from there. Next, he was photographed sitting inside a Porsche 911. The custom car set him back a cool 180 Gs. Then a custom armored SUV, a full tactical build, and a military-grade stance. And then there's this fully customized Jeep Wrangler, a DreamWorks Motorsports special that looks like it rolled straight off a movie set. Blacked out paint, diamond-stitched yellow leather seats, 26-inch fuel wheels, Fox shocks, JL audio sound system, tube doors, custom grille, full light kit. This isn't a build, it's a statement. A $220,000 one. But that's all nothing compared to the home he bought. Rozier dropped $6 million on a massive estate in Southwest Ranches, Florida, a quiet, ultra-wealthy area just outside Miami. The place is huge, 7 bedrooms and over 6,300 square feet of living space, sitting on more than 2 acres of land. Inside, it comes with 24-foot ceilings, Italian marble floors, a media room, game room, wine storage, and a full chef-style kitchen. Outside, there's a heated in-ground pool, outdoor bar, and a full outdoor entertaining area. Now for his jewelry.
Look at that chain. I think they call that ice. Little ice.
He's not the type to flood Instagram with 10 different watches, but when he smiles, you see exactly where the money went. Rozier rocks a fully custom set of gold grills on his top and bottom teeth, packed with VS diamonds, yellow sapphires, and yellow gold crosses with rubies. The full setup cost him 30 G's. But on his wrist, he's rocking a square-face Cartier Santos Dumont style watch in yellow gold. The same classic design you see in Cartier's luxury lineup. And now for a peek into his personal life. And trust me, it's not what you think. Terry started dating Polish-born bikini model Monika Jodinska back in 2018. She's an Instagram influencer based in Miami, with over 200,000 followers and her own swimwear and clothing brand Bunny's Room, which she co-owns with her twin sister. So yeah, anytime her name pops up, fans immediately go looking for the photos. However, their relationship eventually turned into a legal battle instead of a love story. In 2019, she filed a paternity and child support suit in Miami-Dade County after the birth of their daughter, accusing Rozier of not being present. Rozier later acknowledged paternity after a DNA test, and the case was settled in 2020 under undisclosed terms. Since then, Monika's social media and later reporting have shown a very different picture. Rozier showing up to support their daughter, who's now heavily into gymnastics and appears much more involved in her life than he was at the beginning. Now, we gotta talk about the other name that recently got attached to Terry Rozier, Selena Powell. Selena is an adult film performer and social media personality who's been spotted courtside at multiple Miami Heat games this season, posting up on the front row. In November 2024, she jumped on X and claimed she'd hooked up with Rozier, without naming him directly, just calling out his jersey number 2 and saying basketball is more fun when you sleep with a player before the game. She doubled down by bragging that she was the reason Miami would beat Denver the next night. The Heat actually lost that game 135 to 122. Outside of his love life, he's close with NBA players LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Morris. And then there's the most random crossover of all, retired Patriots legend Drew Bledsoe. What started as a name mix-up joke with Eric Bledsoe turned into a full-blown friendship. Bledsoe showed up courtside in a Scary Terry shirt and later in a Rozier jersey, while Rozier rocked Bledsoe throwbacks and helped inspire a Terry Rozier wine moment from Bledsoe's winery. And surprise, for a guy called Scary Terry, it's all about family first. Rozier literally wears his people on his skin. He's got portraits and names of his dad, his mom Gina, his grandmother Amanda, his brother BJ, and his sister Tredacia all inked on him, plus a full poem his mom wrote during a late-night pep talk that he turned into a shoulder tattoo. His bond with Tredacia might be the most powerful. She has cerebral palsy, and Terry has talked about how if she can't make it somewhere on her own, he'll just pick her up and carry her, including up the steep steps at Louisville's KFC Yum Center after games. His off-court life also went viral for something way less serious, that infamous spaghetti, ranch, and sugar sandwich. It's a legit family recipe: white bread, leftover spaghetti, a flood of ranch, and a mountain of sugar. He even linked up with Barstool during his Celtics run, jumping on their mixtape basketball podcast and popping up in a One Bite Pizza review with Dave Portnoy. And now for some moments that cause waves in his career. The biggest controversy of his career is the one he's still in the middle of. Back in March 2023, when Rozier was with the Hornets, betting monitors flagged unusual action on his stat unders for a game where he exited early with a foot injury and finished way below his averages. The NBA investigated at the time and said it found no rule violation, but federal authorities kept digging. Fast forward to October 23, 2025. Rozier is arrested in Orlando as part of a sweeping federal probe into an illegal sports gambling ring. Prosecutors in New York charge him in a case that alleges he shared non-public information about his health and playing time so others could place profitable bets on NBA games. According to the indictment, betting money flowed after Rozier allegedly told a friend he'd be leaving a 2023 game early, which lined up with a flurry of wagers on his stat unders. He was taken into custody, then released on bond after putting up his Southwest Ranches, Florida home valued at $6 million as collateral, and was ordered to surrender his passport and avoid contact with other people in the case. The NBA responded by placing Rozier on unpaid administrative leave, holding back his $26.6 million Heat salary while the legal process plays out. The NBPA is actively appealing that decision, arguing that docking his pay before any verdict violates the league's own principles about presumption of innocence. He also faced one on-court controversy. In 2024, he was suspended one game for his role in a late-game altercation against the Houston Rockets, when he jumped in and started throwing shots after Amen Thompson violently threw Tyler Herro to the floor. The league docked Rozier's $143,000 in lost salary for that single game. Now at this point, you gotta be wondering about his career earnings. Across a decade in the league, Terry Rozier has already stacked up $160 million in NBA salary alone. And that's just on-court money. He's pulled in 7 figures more from sneaker deals, first as one of Puma's big comeback faces, and now rocking Skechers on court. Add it all up, and his net worth sits at $12 million, with a lot more technically still on the table if he ever sees the rest of that Heat contract. Thanks for watching.